Punishment? A woman's silence is never empty. It's not weakness. It's not her running out of things to say. It's her deciding that the conversation doesn't deserve any more of her energy. It's her recognizing that not every battle needs to be fought and not every comment deserves a reply. See, we live in a world where people think the loudest one wins. But the truth, the loudest one often loses control first. And control is where real strength lies. When a woman chooses silence, she's not ignoring reality. She's shaping it. She's setting the terms. She's refusing to be pulled into chaos she didn't create. That's silence. Punishment. It's not the absence of a voice. It's the presence of self-control. It's the pause between emotion and reaction, the space where dignity is protected and power is kept. Most people want an immediate response. Punishment. They want you to react fast, react loud, react in a way that proves they got to you. And when you don't give them that satisfaction, you win a game they didn't even know they were playing. Your silence leaves them with their own words, punishment, their own actions, and their own conscience to wrestle with. That's not weakness. That's leadership over your own emotions. Silence also creates room for clarity. Because when you're not talking, punishment, you're listening to the situation, to your intuition, to the truth that doesn't need defending. And in that stillness, you realize something: not everything needs to be fixed, and not everyone needs to be convinced. Sometimes the best answer you can give is no answer at all. But here's the thing: silence is not about avoiding hard conversations. It's not about bottling up your feelings until they explode. Silence is about choosing the right time, punishment, the right place, and the right words, if you choose to use them at all. It's about holding your peace long enough to make sure you're not speaking from hurt, but from wisdom. Because wisdom knows that some people don't want resolution, they just want reaction. When you master silence, you stop explaining your worth to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Punishment. You stop wasting words on ears that are closed. You stop justifying yourself to people who will twist your explanations anyway. And you start protecting your energy for the moments and the people that actually deserve it. Punishment. It's not always easy. It can feel like you're letting someone win by not clapping back, but you're not. You're winning by refusing to lose yourself in the process. You're winning by showing that your mood, your day, punishment, your life are not controlled by someone else's behavior. You're winning by choosing peace over proving a point. So the next time someone tries to pull you into a fight that serves no purpose, remember this: punishment. Your silence is not the absence of strength. It is strength in its purest form. It's proof that you don't have to play every game you're invited to. It's a statement that says, punishment, I value my peace too much to spend it here. And that statement will echo louder than any argument ever could, because in the end, a woman's silence can be her loudest answer, not because she has nothing to say, punishment, but because she already said it all with her choice to stay silent. Silence is not submission. It's not you backing down. It's not you giving up your voice or your strength. It's not you letting someone else win. Punishment. Silence is a decision, a conscious, deliberate choice to rise above unnecessary conflict and protect your peace. We live in a world where people confuse noise with power. They think the one who speaks the loudest, argues the hardest, punishment, or talks the most has the upper hand. But here's the truth: the loudest person in the room is often the one who's lost control. The person who can stay calm, measured, and intentional, that's the one who holds the real power. Punishment. When you choose silence, you're not surrendering, you're stepping into a higher perspective. You're saying, I refuse to meet you at the level of this chaos. You're acknowledging that not every comment deserves a reply. Punishment. Not every accusation deserves a defense, and not every argument deserves your energy. It's not that you don't have something to say, you probably do. It's that you've decided the cost of saying it is greater than the value it brings. Silence protects your energy like nothing else. Words have weight, and every time you speak, you're spending a little bit of your emotional currency. The wrong conversations will leave you bankrupt. But when you choose to be silent, you're not wasting that currency on something that won't change. You're investing your strength into things that actually matter. Punishment. Some people mistake silence for weakness because they can't imagine having the self-control not to respond. They assume if you're quiet, you're scared, or you've got nothing. But in reality, punishment. Silence is often the loudest statement you can make. It's saying, I'm in control of me. You can't pull me into your storm because I'm anchored in my peace. Think about it. If someone's throwing insults, punishment. Trying to provoke you or dragging you into drama, the second you react, they've succeeded. They've shifted the focus from their behavior to your reaction. But if you stay silent, you don't give them that power. You leave them with nothing to feed on. Your calm becomes their mirror forcing them to see their own noise. Silence also gives you the gift of perspective. When you're not rushing to answer, you have time to process, to think, punishment, to evaluate whether a response is even worth it. Sometimes, after a little space, you realize the argument was never about the truth. It was about control, ego, or manipulation. And that's when you can decide from a place of strength, punishment, not from emotion. Now, choosing silence doesn't mean avoiding every hard conversation. It's not about bottling things up until you explode. It's about knowing the difference between what's necessary and what's not. A necessary conversation is one that moves you forward, clears misunderstanding, or protects your boundaries. Unnecessary conflict, on the other hand, is repetitive, unproductive, and designed to drain you. Silence is your filter. It keeps the second kind out of your life. It takes maturity to stay silent when your pride wants to shout. It takes discipline to walk away when your emotions are on fire, punishment. And it takes wisdom to know that peace is worth more than proving a point. The moment you understand that, you stop engaging in every battle you're invited to. So the next time someone tries to pull you into a fight you don't need, punishment. Remember, this silence is not you losing. It's you protecting the most valuable thing you own, your peace of mind. It's you choosing to spend your energy on building your future instead of fueling someone else's chaos, punishment. And that choice right there is not submission, it's power. It's strength under control. It's leadership over yourself. And it's the clearest statement you'll ever make without saying a single word, punishment. Not every action deserves a reaction. That's a truth most people learn the hard way after wasting time, energy, and emotions on situations that didn't deserve a fraction of their attention. Punishment. Maturity is knowing when to walk away from noise, and that's not something you're born with. It's something you grow into. When you're younger, it's tempting to react to everything. Someone criticizes you, you defend yourself. Punishment. Someone provokes you, you fight back. Someone throws shade, you throw it right back. It feels like if you don't respond, you're letting them win. But with time, punishment, you start to realize that responding to everything doesn't make you stronger. It makes you more reactive. And being reactive means you're letting other people control your emotions, your focus, and your day. Here's the thing. Not all battles are worth fighting. Some actions are so small, so meaningless, that reacting to them only elevates them to a level they don't deserve. By engaging, you're giving them life, giving them your attention, giving them your power. And in many cases, that's exactly what the other person wants. Maturity is the art of choosing your battles wisely. Punishment. It's knowing the difference between a situation that requires your voice and one that's just bait for your energy. Punishment. Walking away from noise doesn't mean you're scared or weak. It means you're strong enough to stay focused on what actually matters. Think about how much mental space is wasted on trying to win every interaction. Punishment. Every sarcastic comment, every passive-aggressive text, every social media jab, it's endless. If you keep reacting, you'll spend your life chasing down every spark. Punishment. Putting out fires that were never big enough to burn you in the first place. Walking away is not surrendering. It's protecting your energy. It's saying, this doesn't serve me. This doesn't grow me. Punishment. This doesn't deserve me. When you do that, you shift your focus to the things that actually build your life, your goals, your peace, your relationships with people who truly value you. And yes, punishment. Sometimes walking away will be misunderstood. People might call you cold, detached, or even arrogant. But here's the truth. You don't owe everyone an explanation. You don't have to justify every choice. The people who truly know you will understand, and the ones who don't, well, their opinion is just more noise to walk away from. The highest form of self-control is not winning arguments. It's refusing to be dragged into them in the first place. That's maturity. That's wisdom. That's strength that doesn't need to shout to be heard. Punishment, because silence in the right moment speaks louder than any comeback ever could. So the next time you're tempted to react, pause, ask yourself, is this worth my time, my energy, my peace? If the answer is no, walk away without looking back. That's not weakness. It's mastery over yourself. And mastery will always win over noise. Your calm speaks volumes. Punishment. It's one of those truths you don't fully appreciate until you've been in a situation where everyone else is losing their composure, but you hold yours. Quiet strength often says more than words ever could. Punishment, because it communicates something that can't be faked. Self-control. People expect reactions. They expect raised voices, quick comebacks, and defensive body language. They expect you to meet their chaos with chaos of your own. Punishment. That's why calmness is so powerful. It breaks the pattern. When you stay steady in the middle of someone else's storm, it sends a message, I'm not here to match your energy. I'm here to protect mine. Punishment. Calm doesn't mean you're passive or detached. It means you've decided that you won't let your emotions be hijacked by whatever's happening around you. It's the ability to take a breath instead of rushing to a reaction. punishment. It's the discipline to wait, to observe, to choose your next step instead of stumbling into it. Quiet strength is felt. People can sense it before you say a word. It's in your posture, your tone, your eyes. It's the steady way you carry yourself when others are looking for cracks in your composure. It's the refusal to let anger, fear, or insecurity dictate your behavior. And because it's so rare, it's unforgettable. There's another reason your calm is so powerful. It puts the weight of the moment back where it belongs. If someone's trying to provoke you, they expect you to bite. When you don't, punishment, they're left with their own words and their own behavior to reflect on. You've shifted the spotlight off your reaction and onto their actions, and that can be far more convicting than anything you could have said. Punishment. Calmness also gives you clarity. In heated moments, words can fly out faster than wisdom can catch them. When you choose calm, you create space for your mind to stay sharp and your perspective to stay clear. You can separate emotion from fact. You can spot manipulation for what it is. And you can make decisions from strength instead of impulse. Of course, staying calm isn't always easy. It takes practice. It takes walking away from arguments you know you could win just to keep your peace. It takes breathing through moments where your pride is screaming for you to prove yourself. And it takes remembering that no one can pull you into chaos without your permission. Your calm is your control. Your calm is your confidence. Your calm is the proof that you're not just strong, you're wise enough to know that strength doesn't always need to be loud. And in a world full of noise, your quiet strength will stand out more than anything you could ever say. Punishment. Because sometimes the most powerful statement you can make is to say nothing at all and let your composure speak for you. Silence shifts the power. It's one of the most underrated strategies in life, but when you understand it, punishment, you'll see how much control you actually have. When you stop engaging with negativity, you stop fueling it. And the moment you stop fueling it, it starts to lose its grip. Negativity is like a fire. It burns as long as it's fed. Punishment, every time you react, argue, or defend yourself to someone who's not interested in understanding you, you're throwing logs on that fire. You think you're protecting yourself, but in reality, you're keeping the flames alive. Punishment. Silence is you taking the logs back. Silence is you walking away from the fire until it burns out on its own. See, toxic people thrive on reactions. They're not always looking for resolution. They're looking for control. If they can get under your skin, they've won. If they can make you defend yourself over and over, they've kept you in their game. But the second you stop playing, the game ends. Your silence tells them, you don't have access to my emotions anymore. That's power. And here's the part most people miss. Silence doesn't just protect your peace. It forces the other person to sit with their own words and actions. When you don't respond, they have nothing to bounce off of. No counterattack to distract from their behavior. No drama to hide behind. Just their own choices staring back at them. Punishment. Silence also creates space for you to stay in control of your narrative. The more you engage in petty back and forths, the more you give people opportunities to twist your words or paint you in a light that benefits them. Punishment. But when you choose not to engage, you remove that weapon from their hands. Your reputation stays intact because you're not adding fuel to the story they're trying to write about you. This doesn't mean silence is always the answer. Some situations require your voice, your boundaries, and your truth. But when it comes to negativity designed purely to provoke you, silence is one of the strongest moves you can make. It's not avoidance, it's strategy. Punishment. It's knowing that your energy is too valuable to be wasted on something that will drain you and change nothing. Silence is not about pretending you don't care. Punishment. It's about showing that you care more about your peace than about proving a point. And when people see that it can't get a reaction out of you, something shifts. They either lose interest in trying to pull you down, punishment, or they have to confront themselves without the distraction of your response. Power isn't always in the words you speak. Sometimes it's in the ones you choose not to. And when you master that, punishment, you'll find yourself walking away from situations that used to trap you lighter, freer, and stronger than before. Because silence doesn't just remove you from the noise, it removes the noise from you. Punishment. And once you've experienced that kind of peace, you'll protect it at all costs. Self-respect is the loudest statement you can make. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to post it. Punishment. You don't have to keep reminding people about it. It shows in the way you carry yourself, in the way you set boundaries, and in the way you refuse to settle for less than you deserve. A woman who knows her worth doesn't need to explain herself repeatedly because her actions speak before her words ever do. See, explanation is often for people who are truly curious, who want to understand you. Punishment. But if you find yourself explaining the same thing to the same person over and over, they're not seeking clarity. They're seeking a way to wear you down. They're not listening to learn. They're listening to challenge. Punishment. And when you know your worth, you stop playing that game. Self-respect means you don't overstay in places where you're constantly questioned, doubted, or diminished. You don't beg for people to treat you right. Punishment. You don't try to convince them why you matter because you already know you do. And if they can't see that, it's not your job to force them to. A woman who respects herself will choose distance over disrespect. Punishment, she will choose silence over begging. She will choose peace over trying to prove her value to people who are committed to overlooking it. And here's the thing, people notice that. They may not admit it, but they feel it. Punishment, because self-respect is magnetic. It draws in those who value you and it repels those who would exploit you. When you keep explaining yourself, you're handing over your power. You're saying, my worth is up for debate. Punishment, and I'm here to defend it. But when you stop explaining to people who aren't listening, you reclaim that power. You're saying, my worth isn't a courtroom case. It's a fact. Punishment. And I don't need your approval to make it real. Self-respect isn't about arrogance. It's about clarity. It's about knowing what you will and won't accept and standing by that even when it's uncomfortable. Punishment. It's about having the courage to walk away from anything, friendships, relationships, jobs, that require you to lower your standards just to keep them. The beauty of self-respect is that it's quiet but undeniable. Punishment. You can feel it in a woman's presence, in the way she handles conflict, in how she speaks up when it matters and stays silent when it doesn't. You can see it in the choices she makes, what she entertains, and what she walks away from. And the best part, when you live from a place of self-respect, you stop attracting situations that demand you constantly defend your value. You naturally set a standard, and the people who can't meet it either rise up or fall away. Either way, your life gets better, because at the end of the day, self-respect is not about what you say. It's about what you tolerate. And when your standard is high and consistent, you don't need to shout it from the rooftops. Punishment. It's written in the way you live, and that's the loudest statement you'll ever make.